Welcome everybody to another fun, fantastic episode of the High Five Guys with your hosts Chris and Todd. Todd, what's going on? How are you doing today?
Oh man, I am here. I'm here. You are there.
Yeah,
I was there not too long ago. That's something that happened, right?
that is
Uh,
true. So yeah,
yeah.
no,
So
we
yeah,
you visited, which is awesome, and yeah, we could talk about that for a hot second. And at least you're here. You're good. You look good.
yeah.
You look refreshed. I got a new haircut. I'm excited. I'm pumped about that.
I noticed that. I'm liking
I'm
it. Yeah, I did notice that. Yeah, and I was telling you before I tried on this Hawaiian shirt first because I thought like it'd be a change of pace, and then I saw myself like I thought I looked fine in the mirror, but I saw myself in the podcast screen, and I instantly hated it. So yeah, I switched out.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah,
I'm just really excited that behind me, the High Five Guys' very expensive artwork and logo is still up. It has
hanging
not
tough.
moved.
Yep,
So,
like some new kids on
gosh.
the block. They're
It,
hanging tough.
exactly. And we've got a really fun episode for you this time around. We'll go through some stuff that's happened to each of us, this week or since we last talked. But we're gonna be talking about music and getting into music, and we even got a special guest who will join us here in a little bit as well and talk about their involvement in the whole music scene. So that'll be super exciting. And then obviously end stuff with high fives. You gotta spread the positive vibes out to the universe. So really excited with that to close the show. But I guess first off, Todd, since we last talked, what's new? What's going on?
Yeah. I mean, let's see. I have not found a job, so that remains the
No
same.
worries.
Yeah, I've been chilling. I think I've been comfortable. I've been fine. I've been finding things to do. It's weird. Like there just seems to be a set of things to do. Like I just had plenty on the plate. Little weekend trip to Montreal last weekend. That was
Oh,
great.
that's awesome. Yeah, how was that?
Yeah, we had a nice trip up. Yeah, oh, we loved it. Yeah. Stacy and I had a really good trip. A lot of old Montreal, which is awesome. Great town, right? Just really nice city. Lots of really European feel. So if anybody hasn't been there, the most European feeling city that I know of in all of North America. I don't think anything compares to it. Um, yeah, so that was great. And
Like, what was your favorite part about Montreal? Because I love it. I love it. Everything
yeah,
about it. The food, the people, just the
we have
scenery.
perfect weather. We have perfect weather. So just walking around in old Montreal, that's down by the water, right? Awesome restaurants everywhere. We went to this like jazzy brunch situation, just a jazz band singing out in this like garden type thing is all like 17th century type architecture around you. And the waterfront, they've actually upgraded the water. They've leveled up the waterfront quite a bit since the last time I was there. I was probably there 10 years ago. It looks a lot better than it did last time I was there. So that was cool. That was good upgrades.
Nice.
Yeah,
The
there's
good weather is important too, like you said.
yeah,
I
it was
think that
perfect
makes
weather.
exploring the
Yeah,
city
yeah. There's some new
wonderful.
rooftops and things like that. It was all perfect. It was awesome. Loved it. Yeah. How about
Nice.
yourself?
Yeah, I would say first off, the haircut again. I'm super pumped. There's a barber shop right up the road. I've been going to them for about a year, but this was a new barber that just happened to use last week, and just he crushed it. I feel like $1,000,000. That and to me that's important.
It
That's
it
money well
looks
spent.
good. Yeah, I mean I
So
noticed it before you told me you had it done. Like I did notice. I was like, oh wow, he's looking sharp. So yeah, good stuff.
streamlined.
Yeah. My recent barber type story. I used to always go to sports clips, right? Whatever, no big deal. I mean, my hair's simple. It was just fun. You go there and like I knew the people there, and you watch Sports Center and stuff while you're getting your haircut. It was fine. It was close.
Yeah.
I show up the
Yep.
one day. I've been there 4 weeks before. it's just gone. Like it never existed. The building,
Disappeared.
yeah, the whole store was gone. It was like they packed up in the middle of the night and just put up like, construction paper, like, not here.
Nice.
No mention like, oh, we moved here, nothing like that. It was just gone. So yeah, so then I recently found this new one, which is closer to me, just right downtown Booton. Just these guys who like don't talk, like foreigner type guys, but they cut real fast. They're super efficient. You walk in, you say one word, like, and they do it, and they did it fine. They were good. So that's probably my new spot. Yeah, just in and out. Yeah, efficient.
Nice.
So yeah,
awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, outside the haircut, work has been busy. So in this consulting gig, it's a lot of back and forth with the client in terms of what they're looking for in terms of financial deliverables, charts, working on presentations, etc. Questioning the data. So that's been good. Big bike ride on Saturday. So I went for about a 60-mile bike ride, and
wow,
it was long enough. So I went with a couple friends, and it was challenging. We were on the saddle for probably like 3.5 hours, close to 3:45, and it was great. Really good weather, perfect weather, like you had in Montreal. It was just wonderful. So got a little sunburn as well, and but I'm feeling it. My shoulders just not. I don't know. I honestly still hasn't felt the same since the ride. So just being in like one position or the same position for a long time, I don't know. I just I did something wrong. Probably messed that up.
Now you were like pushing yourself too, like this was like competitive or more casual?
It was on occasions. I mean, we wanted to average between 15 and 16, and we ended up averaging like 16.3 miles an hour, which generally speaking, for those, I would say that's pushing it. For a normal person to average that for that long is a good like push exercise. I certainly felt it. I would say 40 miles in, mile 50, I was like, I'm kind of done. Don't feel like doing this anymore. And so, yeah, the rest of the weekend was just enjoying time with Duck, time with Joe. Had some hot dogs for Memorial Day, so a little pasta salad, and getting ready. I got a race this weekend, a run up Whiteface Mountain. So looking forward to that. I've been doing some running workouts for that, and we'll see how that goes. But
all right,
no expectations. No expectations.
Nice. Okay.
Just have fun.
Yeah, sounds good. Fun. Sounds busy.
That's what it is. And I mean, with that, this episode, we are so excited to bring on our first guest. So when Todd and I were talking about doing a podcast, we said, we want to get some really fun topics out there, some lively topics, engaging topics. And one of them, which kind of sounded natural to bring someone else in, was music. And Todd's, I'll call it, a little more involved in music than I am. I certainly have gotten involved the last 6, 7, 8 months, with Todd, which has been cool, in his band. But there's another special person who's also been involved in this music scene, and going to invite him here very shortly. And I said him, so maybe I gave that away a little bit. But it's Kyle. And Kyle, you should be ready to rock and roll. You're our first guest, so say hello.
Me, I'm on, huh? All right, here I am.
So yeah, maybe a quick introduction, Kyle. Like you to tell everybody just a little bit about yourself.
Hi, I'm Kyle. Nice to meet you.
Right, that's perfect.
20 years now. We've been friends. Met Todd, met Russ through Todd, and been on a lot of adventures, journeys, and we've grown to know each other quite well over the years. And I am 52. I have 2 kids. And here's my garage, right? You see the shoe rack in the back. That's my life.
It's a nice backdrop. Yeah, we're both.
This is my office, the garage, which is fine because nobody bothers me here unless they want to go outside. They go through the garage, but they won't tonight. Hopefully, we'll see.
Nice.
That's his safe space. That's his sanctuary.
What do you want to know about me, Russ? Because I could go on for hours. So
I would say, what is your zodiac sign?
Aquarius. January 27th.
All right.
1972.
Now,
Yeah, that's
what? I would say that's a special day. January
Of course it
27th.
is. I
just
was
so
born
happens-
that day. Yeah.
Well, someone else on this podcast was too.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, that's
hi, Todd.
yeah, that's a crazy bond that we have.
Yeah.
I for many years there too. I thought we were like one day apart, and then we looked closer, and I was like, no, it's the exact same day, because we kind of like shared birthdays before. I always thought like he was like celebrating one day early or one day after or something like that, but it was I finally found out like exact same day. So odds of that were probably not too good. Yeah. I was gonna add one little piece to like just how we know each other, like the backdrop. So, I worked with his wife many years ago, right? One of my first jobs. So, I bounced around a little bit at the beginning. I was at a .com and stuff, but it was like it was the first like significant job I had that I was at for many years, and we worked together. And very good in the local community in terms of like having a softball team, soccer team, volleyball team, all this stuff, right? And we kind of brought Kyle in as like the
You're giving away the secrets, Todd. You're giving away the secrets.
He wasn't supposed to be there, so if we had any titles or anything, that they could be retroactively stripped from the Micro Morris County League.
Nice.
But yeah, so we had that background, and just like personally, like just some of the stuff that got us close. I mean, we went to Amsterdam many years ago, and also Mexico. So those are two awesome trips. Mexico is all inclusive resort. That was the first time I ever saw Kyle sing. He got pulled up in the middle like the first night we were there. I don't think he was ready for it. There was like 200 people out there, and they just pulled him up on stage to sing La Bamba. I mean, it's not a simple song to sing either, right? It's a high energy, and I never saw him sing before, so I had no clue how he do it. He did fine. I was like, oh, okay. So mental note. I took the little mental note, and carried forward like
18 years later.
Yeah. Actually, that was way back.
We'll get him up there.
Nice.
Yeah.
No,
but we've
think
had a
it's
couple
awesome.
of these. We've had a couple of these trips and things like that. So yeah, that's been cool.
Go. No, I'd say Kyle's a great guy. I mean, I know him from obviously you, Todd, but just golfing. Very, very well-rounded golfer. So congrats to you, Kyle, on just kicking our butt every time we get out there.
Not every time now. Todd's getting there.
Yeah, we trade back and forth sometimes. I mean, he still is gets the more of them, but yeah, occasionally I get him.
I know I got some work to do on that front, but it's fun. I think that's what makes it fun too, is especially even when the three of us get together, it's always a good time. And could be some music playing, could be some golf, could be some drinking, combination of all three of those, but it's good. And to have good people in
Could
your life
be some clubs thrown in a tree that doesn't come down, stays 30 feet in the air in a tree branch.
I was not there for that one. I wish I would have seen that. I've never seen Chris upset.
Well, congrats. I mean, that's like hard to do, because I do get upset. I actually get that a little bit from my mom, like in terms of a quick temper. I can be very, very happy one moment and then be really upset or disappointed another moment and then get back to real happy very fast.
I will say it's been a rare occasion for me as well. I mean, I think that was probably one of the only and it wasn't like oh damn, what just I mean, it was more funny. It was like he just
exactly. And then it wasn't as much funny like when the club didn't come back down. That was frustrating.
Yeah. 5-iron or something right off the tee. And he just didn't like his shot. And it was just kind of like a quick like heave ho like this. Like it just it went way up and it just stuck to the tree.
Now, was that 5-iron handed down from your grandfather, or was that a new set you put yourself?
It was my only set of clubs that I've purchased, so I was really upset about it. But the good news is I went back to the clubhouse, finished the round, and they actually said, well, why don't you just go pick another club out of our hodgepodge of clubs that people left. And I ended up picking a 5-iron. It was a Callaway Big Bertha. That's still in my arsenal today, and I love it.
Were you not allowed to climb the tree?
No, it was way up
Okay.
there. Like it wasn't. Yeah,
Yeah,
it was
I don't think
gone.
that
Okay.
was an
So
option. Yeah,
Gotcha.
it wasn't
Gotcha.
that kind of tree or anything. Yeah.
Wow, you must have been really angry to throw it that
it,
far up there.
it got launched. It got launched. So yeah, that's again how we know each other. At least one thing we do together is we play some golf. And for those that don't know, I know you talked about your birthday. I'm a Leo, so zodiac sign. So August 1st is my birthday.
Yeah, my,
So
my son shares that with you. He's August 28th.
yeah.
Yep.
So listen, August birthdays are the best. Let's say that much.
Well, second best.
So in terms of like music, so part of this episode as well is we've all got different like experiences in terms of getting involved in music and taking it to whatever level that we want to. And I know mine's a little more limited, where I've done karaoke, done a couple events, and we'll get into that. But I think what's really exciting with Kyle, with having you in here too, is you and Todd ultimately are now part of this band called the Broken Builds. And I don't want to steal your thunder. I'll let you guys really kind of describe it. But I think it'd be really cool if both, Todd and Kyle go into just how you got involved with music. Maybe it was that like first foray karaoke, or I did this and this was kind of cool, and kind of how it blossomed, into what it is today, and what you like about it, and maybe what's really challenging about it.
Okay. Yeah, I guess I could probably jump just because, I think, I just predate Kyle by a little bit. So it probably just makes sense. Like, just makes sense. Like, what do you call that? Oh my God, I can't think of the word. In time.
I mean, you're the first. You're the winner.
Chronologically?
Chronologically, yes, chronological, yes. So like my very first foray would have been, I would say, well, first of all, being introverted when I was younger, but then karaoke. And I had talked about this on the other episode, right? Where I started with karaoke. That actually goes back to that same company where I first met Kyle. That we just after one of our games,
Nice.
we did that one time. Just happened to get up there, and I don't know. I didn't have any reason to think I'd be any good or anything, but people kind of liked it, So I was like, oh, okay, really, all right. I didn't know why, but yeah, it was friends in low places. So that was kind of how I broke the seal. And then I would say I could zoom ahead many years. So, through the years, then I did a little karaoke here and there. I had like the PS3 that had sing karaoke, some of these various games.
Nice.
And you end up at people host karaoke events over time, and you go out to some of those. And I wasn't like a junkie, those people that are out at karaoke every week. I would do it once every third month or something. That was my kind of pace. Like just it's a handful of times a year kind of thing. But then I was at my buddy Sean, so that I'll zoom all the way ahead to there. 20. Oh man, probably get the year wrong. I'll say it's 2021, but it's probably 2022 actually.
So after COVID.
Yeah, 2022. I was at his place, and he had been doing like these open mics and things for a while, right? And mainly just like him with a guitar and then singing. I never did anything like that, but the one time I was at his place, he just busted out like sort of singing. He was playing this song. He's like, I've been working on this thing. Listen to this. And he just went all in, and I was like, "Oh wow! Like you can just do that? Like you don't have to go to a karaoke event or whatever." I don't think I'd ever quite experienced that. Like somebody just started doing music, right? I mean, I probably should have experienced that. It's that shows you how much I wasn't in those like normal music circles. I wasn't in a music family or whatever. Like that was literally, I think, the first time that I just experience it like that, like just in a casual setting, somebody just like busting out like that, full force. I was like, oh wow, you can just do that. And next thing you know, like I joined him, and then next thing you know, we were practicing, and I was singing along as he was playing the guitar, and we went out to a couple open mics. We started up, and that was how I dipped my toes, and that's how I got started.
Yeah, and to that point, I mean, Sean, mutual friend of ours, but it sounds like, I mean, for me, I can't say I know many people or close friends of mine that play an instrument. Now it's you, now it's Kyle, it's Sean. But like maybe that also led to it, right?
Yeah.
You didn't put yourself in that situation. You didn't have 20, 30 friends that played music all the
Right.
time.
No, I wasn't. Right. I wasn't running in musical circles. I didn't come from a musical family. None of those things. As a 40-something-year-old guy, like it was pretty new. I mean, I had a guitar. I tried playing it poorly. Couple different stints like during college and things like that. And I don't know. I was trying to do too much. I wasn't learning it the right way. I was trying to play Led Zeppelin from like day one, and it just wasn't the move. I had a bad approach, and I got frustrated, and it just never went anywhere. But Then I just sort of got addicted. I got obsessed. Got my own guitar. I was like, I wanted to expand more and be able to do more things, and just really fell into it. Yeah, and then.
That's awesome. And then Kyle got into the mix.
Yeah, that is about.
Somehow.
Yeah, that's a good time where he. That's a good time where he came into the fold. So, I would say I got to sort of a little bit of a seasoned veteran level where I was comfortable, and the main thing that allowed me to do that was initially I started out in Pennsylvania. There's a brewery and there's a winery. The winery especially. Got comfortable there. And there's definitely something to like feeling comfortable in a particular space and just being like, oh, okay, I'm used to going here. I'm ready to perform there. I even went to one or two and watched it before I performed. That helped me a lot. Your brain is just more ready for like, I'm ready to do this. And then I started performing there a few times. And, then I got obsessive with the guitar and just went all in, like playing many hours a day. And I'd say about the 3-month mark, I felt of being obsessed, felt good enough to play some simple songs out in front of people. So then I jumped into that and started with that. And then not too long after that is kind of, I think, when we pulled Kyle into the mix, because we got into like playing golf a lot, right? A couple of years ago, we started playing like golf close to once a week. That became the new thing, like every Wednesday over the summers.
Yeah.
And I think I believe it was after playing the one day, it was just kind of like, yeah, why don't you try some? Oh wait, actually, you know what, Kyle? Do you remember this better? Do you remember like your absolute intro, like the first day of it? I'm not remembering it that
well.
I
remember it better, but I could be wrong. You would ask me, can I sing? Would I sing? And then I did a karaoke and videotaped it on the way home from your place.
Oh, that's right. Oh, yeah. Of Brown Bird. Fingers to the bone, Brown right? Bird. Yeah. Ah, that's right. And so it came up as we were talking about it.
Then we started having some sessions after golf, and you played your guitar, and I tried to sing. And then we got at it for a little while, and but my background, not that it's extensive, goes back to when I was 16. I had a friend of mine, Bob, fantastic guitarist, and he was just like a prodigy at it. And he was in a bunch of bands, but then we had our own little band, and I was playing bass. Not that I knew how to read music or anything, but he showed me what to do, and I was singing, and he was playing guitar, and we had a backup guitarist and I believe a drummer. But anyway, so I had a little bit of experience of sitting in somebody's basement and just playing along and having a good time. I'm like Todd, I was an introvert. I'm still an introvert. I wasn't really comfortable with it back then, but sitting in somebody's basement or garage, no big deal. Let's just have a good time.
You're with friends. Yeah.
So we did that for almost a year. And then I didn't touch it again other than, singing in the shower, singing in the car, like most everybody. We think we sound pretty good, but not good enough to go out into public. But, this guy over here goes, no, you sound pretty good. Come on, sing along. And
peer pressure.
So I was like, no, I wouldn't call it peer pressure. It was comfort level. He provided a comfort level. And I said, okay, let's give it a go. And after practicing quite a bit, I decided, okay, I'll go do an open mic. And we went to that place in Pennsylvania,
Yeah.
not the winery, but the brewery.
The brewery. Yeah.
Yeah,
The
yeah, yeah,
Shawnee Brewery.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And we started
Shawnee
off with
Craft
like
Brewery. Yeah.
a Brown Bird song and the Wellerman, and we might have done one other, but I don't remember what it was. Um, but the community, like you said on one of the other shows, just fantastic. They're all like very supportive. Everybody's clapping, everybody's smiling, and you got all that anxiety built up getting out there for the first time, and when you're done, you're like, "Holy cow!" This was pretty cool. Everybody's really nice about it. Um, Everybody's got some sort of artistic values in them that they want to express, whether it's professional or not. It doesn't matter. Everybody's got to let that go, and they all know that, right? And they're letting you express however you want to express yourself. And that's fantastic because we all walk
Yeah.
through life feeling that anxiety that people are judging us,
Yeah.
and we might be scared to put ourselves out there until we find these groups that let you know, hey, it's okay.
Yeah.
Just put yourself out there. It's going to be all right. Have a good time. Enjoy yourself because that's what it's supposed to be about.
Yeah. And I
So
think
that was my first exposure. And after
Yeah.
that, I was like, all right, I'll do this again. Not that I wasn't nervous the second time. I was. And I felt like it might get easier, but that inner anxiety in me still pushed. And but again, that community just kicked me back and said, no, no, no. Have a good time. Enjoy yourself.
Yeah.
Smile. And I
But
love
it was
So,
it was a venue change too, and that's partly what I'm talking about too, right? It's a place you'd never seen before. There's a comfort level to a physical space, to like knowing some
yeah.
of the faces, right? And then you go to this new place that you hadn't seen before. It's all new faces. There's definitely
Right, right.
yeah,
I
that
went to the
affects
brewery
me for
once.
sure. Yeah.
Then the second time was Booten Cafe.
Boone Coffee, which
And
is like an institute. I mean, that is like the premier. I mean, people would know, but like in terms of open mics around here, that is like that's the Ferrari of open mics in this area. So you're
about
going like
what a quaint little area they have for the event.
yeah,
It's almost like a miniature what do you call the
theater.
miniature theaters. Thank
Yeah,
you.
Nice.
Right, and then the third time, my third open mic was down in Dover, where all of a sudden they usually do it inside, but that night they were holding it out on the sidewalk. So everybody
Yeah.
walking by or driving by could hear you. I was like, come on, man. I'm not that person who's done this 20, 50, 100 times. This is my third
Yeah.
time.
yeah,
Yeah.
So yeah, did that. And again, great community, had a good experience. And then, of course, that went so well that me and Todd decided that we were going to start hosting our own open mics.
Yeah, and
Pretty
before we
crazy.
get to that, I mean that's awesome about the whole community thing, and I think all three of us, and certainly a lot of you people listening on the podcast too,
You
if
people.
you find a group, you people,
Who's you people?
you people. So the community side of things, where it's a group of people that are welcoming, open arms, just let you be you, and really will catch you if you fall. I think it says a lot, about finding that in whatever capacity.
Yeah.
And, it could be music. It could be, open mic. It could be running.
Yeah.
It could be whatever, right? Alcoholics Anonymous, whatever that is that really helps you be yourself and feel loved is something that people, I feel like should have some experience in some sort of group where they feel like they're a part of something. I think it goes a
yeah.
long way mentally. Yeah. Go for it.
Definitely. And you're great about that. Like, you went up to this new area, right? You're from PA, you're working in Jersey, but then you relocated up to like, Saratoga area, right? And next thing you know, it's like, you found these whole new community, like various communities, right? You found the local pickleball community, you found the racquetball community, you found the the biking, running clubs, and you're amazing at that. I'm sure it's important. It's just important to have that, like that, those common experiences with people and people that are into the same sort of things.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's great. I love being a part of a community. I did a Myers-Briggs test that does like a personality trait test, and so unfortunately, like I'm not the same as you guys. I can't be the three amigos where we're all introverts. Answering the test as truthfully as possible. It said like you're in. I think it was an ENFJ, but ultimately means extrovert. The E means extrovert, and you either start with an E or you start with an I for introvert. And it was like, you should be around people. Like that's where you thrive. It's like people, group activities. And I mean, it's interesting how accurate the test was. But to bring it back to what we're talking about, Kyle, you hit it on the head where, it was a group of, people, like-minded people that wanted to see you succeed and wanted you to have fun. And, Todd saw that in you, and all of a sudden it was like, hey, why don't you come join us? It's all going to be good. It'll be all right.
Yeah.
And now you guys got a whole thing going.
I think we knew we had something from like the first rehearsal session. The whole thing was like trying to make each other laugh. I mean, that's basically what our practice sessions look like. It's who can do the most like outrageous, over the top delivery of a line, it's in some silly old English way, or whatever it is, right? Or like screaming something, but kind of making the other guy laugh. But I mean, we're also like, we're both like pretty detail oriented people, so we're not just like randomly messing around, but we definitely did a whole lot trying to make each other laugh. And we rehearsed for a long time before you ever actually got up there too. Right, because
right.
Remember that it was many months actually.
Yep, we had at least 10 rehearsal sessions.
Yeah,
at least.
Yeah,
maybe 15.
Yeah, yeah. I bought a banjo somewhere in between there. Started trying to learn it. That was. We all
still haven't brought that one out. But.
I know, that's insane. Like, as long as I've owned that banjo now, and it was the very first song that you tested out, we haven't actually performed that one. That's kind of hilarious. Fingers to the Bone. Great song. But yeah, it's not the easiest, but we can do it. We should do it.
No, we'll get there one day.
And so then how did the whole Broken Builds band come about?
Oh, yeah.
Just, the evolution of that.
Oh, yeah.
And sort of where are you at today?
Yeah. So just real quick, the name, first of all, it's a technical like software term, and it's a nerdy thing. The reason we came up with it was actually, funny enough, I mean, it's me and the one other guy who's not here, Sean. We're both in software development, right? So it's a software development term. And it just, it felt like it was a good common bond for us. We weren't even from the same state or anything. We're like, oh, software, tech, whatever, nerd stuff, like, works. So we started with that. And we hadn't hosted shows or anything yet. We were still just like showing up at public open mics that other people were hosting. And then Kyle got involved, and not necessarily related wise, but Sean's kind of taking a hiatus. So during that time is really when the kind of hosting shows really took off. Yep, good.
Sean, timeline wise, Sean was involved for the first couple of hostings. He took the hiatus.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry. Yeah. I mean, when it like, somewhat in the ballpark. Yeah. Not that like he missed it altogether, whatever, but yeah, somewhat in the neighborhood at that time. But yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. He was there for a good number of them. But yeah, it started, Kyle and I were, oh yes. Yeah. I was there too. Yeah. We were out at, Benzie. So it's like the local, favorite restaurant by Kyle. He lives, quarter mile away or something, half a mile. And he, knows the owner well. He's like the mayor of that bar. And we were there the one night, with George, and we talked to him. We're like, do you guys ever do music here? Because we've been doing it, right? We've gone to a number of open mics. We talked a little bit about like, oh, maybe we can do this on our own. And just kind of brought it up. And about 10 minutes later, he's like, yeah, man, let's do this. Let's try it. Right. And next thing you know, do you remember, Kyle, how much later was that date from the moment we talked to George? It wasn't too far away, right?
A month, maybe.
Was it a month? Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Well, we hadn't done one yet, so we needed time to prepare and practice
Yeah.
and make up a list. So, I believe it was 4 weeks.
Okay. Yeah.
And if I remember correctly, you were at that point, you didn't really have any local places you're going to other than Booton, and you were hoping for more places. So, we discussed it with George, and we'd asked him, hey, do you want to host something here? And he goes, yeah, that would be cool. And I asked Todd, I said, Todd, all right, George wants to do this. Who's going to host it? And Todd looked at me and goes, we will.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we started on a Monday night, which,
that's right. Monday. Yeah, that's right.
Normally open mics are a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday sort of thing. Fill in some gaps when the business is slow. But, it was okay. Some people showed up, but some people also said, hey, listen, if you did it on the weekend, I don't have to go to work the next day. I'll show up. So I talked to George again. I said, George, we might get more people on a Friday, Saturday. So he said, oh, let's do Friday. So, right? No, we're Saturday. He said Saturday.
I think it went right to Saturday from Monday. Yeah.
So we've been doing Saturdays ever since. And great turnout there. People are awesome. We have our locals that show up and support us and sing along and participate. And oh my God. And some artists that are fantastic just pop out of nowhere and that you've seen for years. Yeah. Hanging out, having dinner with their families or whatnot. And all of a sudden one day they walk in with the guitar and they're playing and singing. Like, oh my God, I didn't know you did that. I was like, yeah.
Yeah, I know Kyle had some funny stories after that first one too, where, he goes back to the bar because he knows everyone there, right? So it's like his cheers. That's an old reference, but, for the old people. Old people like
Gen
us,
X's.
they would get the cheers reference. But afterwards they're like, who is this guy? Like, what? Kyle singing and dancing around or whatever. Like, they didn't even know what happened. But it was a good show. I think it went really well. I think,
I wasn't sure what happened either. My God.
I think it went pretty smoothly.
That was great.
Yeah, and then it's kind of gone from there. And I've just been buying equipment ever since. I've got obsessed with like the audio engineering side. Yeah. Like that's a long road you can go down of just looking at hardware that's out there. I mean, I could buy new speakers every day of the week. I could buy new mixers every day of the week. People get obsessed with guitars and things too. I could certainly buy some more guitars, but I've almost even got more obsessed with like the sound equipment, the audio engineering side. But yeah, I don't know. I keep like the usually the way we set up, right? Kyle comes over to my place and we practice a little bit. And then at a certain point, he's a lot better than I am at this. So like, yo, you see what time it is, right? Like, we got to get ready. We got to get up and out of here. I'm still practicing songs and working on our playlist. And he's like, yo, you see what time it is, right? And, but now, like, I keep buying new stuff, right? There's a DJ booth now. There's mixers. There's a million wires. There's multiple guitars. So we have a karaoke. We have a monitor, right? We have a monitor that's stand-up monitor. It takes up quite a bit of space. It rolls around for karaoke, right? We just run YouTube, run the karaoke on that. But it's just every single show, I think, the packing up and setting up has gotten At least 5 minutes more complex each time. And more car space needed.
As Todd gets more into this, we start spending more time packing, spending more time unpacking, and we will have to do more events to pay all of it off, of course.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
totally worth it. I mean, because now we're doing another place, the Roasted Breadfruit. They have an outdoor patio. They built the stage.
Yeah, awesome.
So he had one amplifier. Then he bought a second amplifier. Then he bought a nice big Yamaha speaker. Then when he heard about us possibly getting that patio outside, he bought a second Yamaha speaker and the stand so we can adjust the height.
Yeah.
Great investment because you know what? I wish I could show you a picture of what it looks like out there. It's a beautiful setup. The sound's awesome. You can hear us way across Wharton and Jefferson. And we're moving to Saturdays there as well. So as that gets busier, that's just going to go crazy. And again, a great community of people are coming out and supporting it. And just it turns out to be almost just like a party of people who enjoy making music. And some people are better than others, of course. And one person jumps in on somebody else's song, but that's okay because we're all there just to explore and have a good time. And it just turns into like this music orgy. That's the best way to describe it, I think.
The technical term.
Is what I heard. No, that's a good call out. I mean that's probably the most rewarding part of it, I would say. And I think we've actually, I think we have proof, or we've heard at least. We've gotten at least like 10 people to perform for the very first time in their life. I think it's more like 12 or something. It's something like that. Like first time they perform out in front of And actually I wanted to bring Chris into the mix too now. I know, sorry, we didn't bring it in. We got on a long story there. But I mean this is where Chris got involved too, right? I mean, back in the day, like, we did some of that karaoke and dancing stuff after work, right? Back at Mars.
Yeah.
But in terms of like getting involved in this, I've sort of, mentioned to Chris like, hey, you should try this sometime. And I know you came over that one time and we rehearsed a few songs. That was like the first thing, right? Do you remember?
We tried a few. I know. I thought I was gonna be able to sing Maroon 5 and Payphone and all of that. I love the song, but it definitely. When I sing it on my own, no auto-tune, no backdrop music, it's like, I don't know if you sound like Adam Levine. So maybe there's another song.
You didn't like it as much?
Now,
okay. Yeah.
No, funny enough, Adam Levine, I do like Avril Lavigne, and I feel like I could sing some of her songs pretty well. I've just got a very high voice. But no, we ended up finding something that worked out from a good open mic type of song. And the first one I sang out over at Benzie's, which is great, was Wonderwall by Oasis. And it was a great time.
It was awesome. I mean, the way I'll describe it, like, we had some pretty good sessions, right? But that performance you did there in front of everybody and just up there comfortable, you introduced yourself, you said some funny stuff. I know you're talking about New York and we were talking about the trip, but I think there wasn't there a crazy snowstorm just before? There was some various stuff, right? You were talking about, but sure. I mean, you knocked it out of the park. It was better than any of the rehearsals we did. However many times we rehearsed, you were well better. You were like 20% better than any of the rehearsals, up in front of a bunch of people. I remember you had your phone out and you were filming in the middle of your song.
Yeah.
You're like, you put it out like, damn, this guy's so comfortable within 30 seconds, like the first time up there. That was awesome.
No, it was definitely a fun experience, right? And I think you both leading that experience and just welcoming and saying, listen, it'll be okay. And even though I did perform, so my first sort of performances in front of people were raps. So interestingly enough, I did something in high school one time. I did
Oh,
an
wow.
Eminem rap, and I rapped to Nelly and Mystical and Big in college. So they had like a session where you did karaoke. It's like videoke, so you actually had a video of yourself performing. So I have that on VHS. Uh, I loved it. So I mean, I do like performing in front of people, but I'm also shy about it. I know when things may sound good or things may not sound good. So I've kind of shied away from open mic night because of certainly not sounding as well as some other artists that perform. But coming down to Benzie's and seeing you guys again, I saw you perform, kick things off, do really well, engage with the crowd. Saw other performers who were really fantastic, and why not? It seemed like an environment where the only time you would fail is if you just never got up there and tried. So why not do that?
Excellent statement. I mean, if you're not failing, you're not trying, right? So, and there's no failing there anyway. You just get up and have a good time. And Todd has made me feel real comfortable. If I start screwing up, he starts singing over top of me or with me to help me, right? Especially in the beginning sessions there.
Sure. Yep.
Back to you.
I love it.
I had something to say, but it just drifted away.
No, and so that experience for me has opened up other occasions where I've gone up and sang, and heck, I even rapped a few times. The most recent time I got out there, and it is good. And I think that's not just your open mic. I'd like to think that a lot of the open mics in the area do encourage people to come out there, but you two certainly make it great.
Okay,
you definitely make
that's
it a
what
good time.
I wanted to comment on that. Right, the comfort level. When you said earlier, yeah, I saw you guys perform, and then I felt really comfortable. So, we're not way up here, and we're not coming out with a 5-piece band saying, yeah, you got to be great to get up here. No, you got to come up here and just have a good time. And so many people, like Todd said earlier, they've come to us and said, listen, you make this atmosphere so comfortable that we want to perform, whether we think we're good or not. And it doesn't matter. We don't care. I don't think I'm good. All right. Now, so if me singing lets everybody else know that, hey, listen to this guy, it's okay for me to go sing too. Great. Do it.
Yeah.
Get up there. Because every once in a while, I'm not saying the people who don't sing well shouldn't sing, but every once in a while you get that gem that sits up there and starts singing who hasn't sang in front of other people before. It's like, wow, where have you been?
Yeah.
Why haven't you done this before? And they find something inside themselves, and that's the glory of what we're doing is people are exploring themselves and going out there and putting themselves out and finding something that maybe they didn't know they had. And that outlet and that talent, it's great.
Yeah, I would say
well said.
By far, that's our primary goal. We talk about this pretty regularly. Just like our main goal is not for us to come out and like be perfect. Oh, you're coming to see like musical perfection. This guy played note by note. Not that honestly, I mean, we shoot for that too, right? We actually are kind of perfectionist type people. We do shoot for that. We shoot for, good quality, but
right. But it takes a lot of years to achieve anything close to excellence or perfection.
Yeah.
But we do have a goal, and we do have some OCD in us and some anxiety where we want to go out and do the best we can because we are competitive people.
Yeah,
of course.
Yeah. We're not
competing with any. We're competing with ourselves. We want to be better. Always want to be better.
It's never going to be like sloppy, and we're always going to try to improve. And I always make a million mental notes. I'm one of those harshest critic of yourself. I make a million mental notes after each thing. and like, oh, not doing that again. Won't make that mistake again. But the main goal is always that whoever shows up has the most fun possible. We're there to maximize the fun, the camaraderie, the just oh, that was cool. Wow, that was a little different. It's maybe not normally the hosts are dancing along to our song or on the side playing tambourines and stuff. Like we do all these accompaniment instruments all the time when people are doing songs, and other people do that too. We have these guys, there's these Filipino guys who show up recently that are just amazing artists, awesome musicians, right? But like I've done a couple songs, other people have done songs, they hop on the drum. One of them is a drummer, so they're just drumming along out of nowhere, and amazing at it. So it's everything is just adding these other layers. All this stuff is just happening on the fly. It's just it's totally impromptu, little bands being formed and stuff. So it's that aspect of it has been awesome, and I love that.
And so I'll say before we get to how can people find out about your open mic nights or broken bills or like follow you, what has been one thing that you found either most challenging, on this musical journey so far?
I mean, for me, just technically, for sure, it was the guitar itself. I don't think, like, just some people that are just wizards at certain things, right? Like, it just comes to them naturally, and they start doing the thing, and it's like 2 months later, they're shocking everybody. Like, oh my, what do you mean? Just a virtuoso, right? I'm not that when it comes to guitar. I'm definitely not that. I'm actually pretty good, I think, with the vocals. Like I can hear vocal and timing wise and tone and whatever. Like I can just sing a song that I hadn't heard in like 25 years, and I kind of know the tempo and the inflections and things. Like I'm really keyed into like to voices, like even different accents things. So I think my brain is just wired that way. It's wired to speech. So I hang everything off of that, but like just the guitar itself, I just don't, like, my ear isn't tuned to that and stuff. I'm not one of those people that's like, oh, there's an A, there's an E, there's a, whatever. Like, I can just, when I'm singing, I can just sing those things. I don't even know what note I'm singing, but I can just sing them. But like, you put a guitar in my hands and like I become serviceable over time, but it's taken me many hours to get over all that. So yeah, that's my answer on that. Kyle, you got one for that?
Sure. First of all, serviceable. Great comment, great word. Right? Like you're a vacuum. I don't know anybody that's great at guitar in 2 months. All right, so you've done an excellent job, Todd. You should feel proud about yourself, where you've gotten to in a short period of time, because it's not like you've dedicated the last 2 years strictly to guitar.
Oh,
you had work.
Okay. Yeah.
You had relationships. Mm-hmm. You got a house to take care of. So, you weren't a teenager coming home from school and playing the guitar for 5-6 hours straight. And then, weekends just sitting in your basement playing, right? So you're learning at, the slightly middle ages here.
Yeah.
You're doing great. I don't know what my greatest challenge was. Probably getting over the anxiety level of being in front of people and talking with them and, opening up with, hey, we are Broken Bills. This is what we do. And we're a band, right? I mean, you say you're a band. In my mind, it's like, oh, you're going to rock. You're something really good. You're cool. Well, no, a band is a couple or a few people getting together to make some music. Whether it's great or not so great, it doesn't matter. You're still a band. So
yeah,
that's what we are. But coming to terms with that and saying, hey, that's who we are and this is what we present, that was difficult because, who the hell wants to listen to me? Am I that important where people want to sit there and listen to me? So I'm like I said, a very introvert, humble person. Um, but I'm starting to get a little bit more comfortable, and that's the part I'm appreciating about this experience is
That's terrific.
I'm getting past those anxieties or phobias of
Yeah.
public speaking and whatnot. So that's been my greatest challenge. The singing part, the technical part, that's again, that's technical. That's just a physical, hey, practice.
Yeah.
But
Yep.
the
Nice.
mental parts, that's what I like to get
Nice.
over.
Now, Chris, how about
Yeah.
for you? How about
Yeah.
this? Since we've had you in the mix, what do you think?
Well, I will say first off, I think it's my voice. There are songs that I think I could sing, and that I try, and I know doesn't come out well. Um, a small portion could be similar to what Kyle said in terms of just we'll call it getting in front of people, introvert type of thing. As much as I am an extrovert based on all the tests that I've done, there are parts of me where it says like, nah, you're not ready to just like showboat out there and just go nuts. If you told me there's a math like I don't know expo and there's like a math challenge and you could win prizes, like I'd be the first one to sign up for that mental math, and that no brainer. But when it comes to music, certainly not the first one, but I think I've gotten more comfortable in not being the last one. And hopefully, Kyle,
I,
you kind of what you hit on earlier is be the inspiration for others and saying, you know what, you can do it. I'm not great, I'm okay at it. Maybe I'm having fun. Maybe that's the most important thing you see out there is like, wow, he's having fun. And
that is
that's
one
what
of the
I'd like
most
to.
important things. Like when you look comfortable, when you're clearly having fun, that kind of energy is definitely infectious. That actually matters a lot. You could be technically perfect, let's say, whatever, but you have a frown on your face. It's not energizing to see that, right? It's standoffish. But yeah, somebody who's out there just beaming and they're running around the room, whatever, like getting people involved, like that's infectious. So that actually matters.
Yeah,
Body language and everything matters a lot.
absolutely. And so to kind of bring this, to an end in terms of the music side of it, you guys have put on a great show and experience for a number of months now. How can people either go experience you,
Mm.
go challenge themselves and sing, or find you on social media?
Yeah. I think the finding us on social media is probably the way. So yeah, it's the Broken Builds, right? On Facebook, we have a Facebook page there. We oh, why I had a whole other thing called Todd Tries Me. No, I'm thinking of the other platforms. It's more like I have Todd Tries Music, right, on various platforms, like on Threads, on Instagram, on Facebook. But yeah, in terms of Broken Build, actually, we should be on a couple more platforms, I think, for Broken Builds. But yeah, we're on Facebook. If you follow us there, we post about all our shows and things. But Roasted Breadfruit. We're gonna be rocking there all summer. Every
other
first
Saturday.
every first and third Saturday, we're gonna be there
That's
from like
awesome.
6 till
I love
close,
it. Congrats.
eating awesome Caribbean food from Dominica, and just singing whatever we feel like singing and hosting for people. Yeah.
Oh, that is awesome. And so, I mean, great conversation, and just honestly, like, really proud of you both too for not only taking a leap of faith, but really, like, I'll call it setting the tone when it comes to open mics. And I think you've got a great following. I've been there a number of times. When I can make it down, it's actually been better than expected. Like I expected, great, and it was unbelievable.
Wow.
It's a good time.
Appreciate it.
It's a great
Yeah.
time. And I think Kyle, you want to say something?
Yeah,
Go for it.
I think Benzie was a great platform for us to build up our confidence. Again, a
Yeah.
great group of people there that just made us feel comfortable. Tina and her friends.
Tina Tambourine.
They would get up and dance, and it just inspired us to, hey, if people can be happy with this, let's try to spread that happiness wherever we can,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
to a limited effect, right? Because we still got to work for a living, got a family to take care of
Yeah.
and spend time with. So, these new endeavors are exciting, and it's awesome to feel like somebody wants you to bring that energy to their place. Um, but it's time. It is time. It is effort, and
Yeah.
but it's a great story. It's a great experience. I'm really glad I'm going through it.
Yeah, and so I think one thing to kind of sum it up is that if you haven't tried an open mic, go listen, go check it out, go find something local, go experience it, and heck, you probably get some of those butterflies inside saying, you know what, there's like I really like this song and I'd like to sing it or I'd like to play. I play the guitar at home, but I'm just so afraid to bring it out in public. Go do it. Open mics are one of the best avenues to encourage you and kind of challenge you, but in a very friendly way and format.
Yeah, super. The most supportive public group that I know of. Yeah.
You
There
never
it
been to
is.
AA?
No, nope. I mean, maybe book clubs. Who knows, right? But things that I've been to. Yeah, that's tops for me. Yep.
No, that's awesome. No, I really appreciate you coming on, Kyle, as well as our first guest. And I think we do close out the show at high fives, and would love for you to also participate in that and give a high five of the week. So I don't know, Todd, Kyle, I can certainly kick things off. How do you want to do the high fives?
You want it?
Well,
you
let me
excited for yours?
let me
Go ahead.
say, number one, thanks for having me. I'm flattered that you felt that I was a character enough for your show, especially with the shoe backdrop here. I mean, that's just an implant. Really, behind me is a garden, but I thought that would be more interesting to your viewers. So
absolutely.
No, I'll let me get started with the high five because I got one. I got one,
right.
and it may
Let's
sound
I love it.
All
it
right.
may sound a little bit like an ass kissing kind of high five here, but my first high five is going out to you two. You two deserve a high five. All right, because there's nothing I've ever done with you two that hasn't been a positive experience where you're trying to make each and every person feel good and better and do better. And it's exactly what you're trying to bring to this platform. So, you know what?
I appreciate that.
It needs to be more throughout our world, our universe, our societies. So, yeah, good for you guys, and thank you.
Wow.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Boom. High five. I love it. I
it's
love it. We've tried practicing those high fives. It doesn't work out.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Thank you. You never quite know exactly how the world's perceiving you, right? You put something out there, you try to be a good person or whatever, and try to contribute to society, but you never know exactly how you're being perceived, exactly how you're reflecting on the world. So I would say, I know, I think I could speak for Chris here. I know he definitely carries himself that way. I try to carry myself that way. So yeah, that is much appreciated.
Right. Well, let me make another comment then. As Chris mentioned earlier, right? The vibes that you put out there, we all give off frequencies. And if we can all give off positive frequencies, the higher frequencies, right there, those are the good ones, and send them out to the universe, they reverberate. And that's what's absorbed by everybody. So even if this is only watched by 50, 60, maybe get up to 100, a couple hundred, spread those vibes out there. And everybody else tries to spread it their own way. Next thing you know, the universe is a better place. And
there you go. You get 1,000 bonus points.
It all starts with you.
Yep.
1,000 bonus points for the word reverberate.
All right, I'm done.
Todd, you want to go next?
Yeah. I'll jump in. Why not? It's crazy. It was like I keep trying to come up with a person, right? It was originally it was kind of the goal was it would be people. I keep coming up with like organizations or whatever. I will.
Perfectly fine.
Yeah, it's not timely or anything, but it's just a random thing that happened today. Mine is going out to IKEA today.
Let's go. What have they done to better your life?
Dumb. What the thing about it, like, I sometimes go in these rabbit holes, right? Of just sort of exploring like different companies that are smart about how they do things or business strategies or whatever, right? And I've thought about like they're pretty brilliant about a number of things that they've done, and the difference with IKEA, like if I think of a normal furniture store, me growing up as a kid, right? It was one of my worst nightmares. I think the first nightmare was being dragged to the rag shop by my mom. Number two would be being dragged to furniture shops by my parents.
Mm-hmm.
Going to IKEA, even for kids, it's like a fun experience, right? You go there, there's all these bright colors, all this stuff. There are toys and stuff. They have like a daycare center. I went there today for kind of the main draw. I went there for was lunch. I kind of like their food. I went to the cafeteria. But I was just randomly looking at stuff. And I was actually looking for, this is kind of funny. I was looking for like a plant, tropical plant. I was actually going to get like as a gift for roasted breadfruit for the restaurant for our open mic spot.
A real plant, right?
Yeah. I wanted to say they didn't have the ones that I normally think that IKEA has, so I wasn't able to get that. So, but I did order this cold hardy windmill palm. It's from like a northern elevation. It's like from China, but it can survive in our climate. So I have that on order, but it's not going to be until next week. But yeah, sorry, a lot of diversions here. But I don't know. Randomly, I just an impressive company overall. I'll say it that way. Just the way they do everything, the packaging, the colors, the experience you get walking in the place. There's just a fit and finish to everything. Like everything is there's a detailed orientation to like every aspect of the thing. That's impressive.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole do-it-yourself furniture put together feeling.
That side of it too. Yeah.
No, the in-store experience is important when you go shopping or want to go shopping, right? They've done something in the past that said, we want you back.
Yeah.
We have good food. We've got a maze that you've got to navigate to get out of the store.
There's a lot they've figured out. Yeah.
Nice. No, I haven't been in IKEA in years. So there's not one. The closest one to me might be the one in northern New Jersey.
Oh, wow.
I know there's one in Boston area. There is not one like at all close by.
Oh, wow.
So,
okay.
I'll have to make a special trip.
All right. So what do you have?
I'm giving a shout out to someone.
What you got to give?
Oh.
High five, IKEA.
High five.
Oh.
Let's go. High five the IKEA. There it is. Doing it. For me, it is a person, and it is actually regarding the New York Rangers. So it is my second favorite hockey team. I grew up really enjoying them. My dad loves them. So they are in the playoffs, Stanley Cup, hopefully Stanley Cup finals, but right now Eastern Conference finals. The goalie, Igor Shesterkin. So I say him because I haven't followed much of the NHL this year. I don't have your traditional sport channels, so I always watch YouTube clips and videos of highlights and things, especially only the last 2-3 months. I haven't followed the whole season, but I know Rangers doing well. What I noticed this playoff season, the Rangers have been outshot 14. They've played 15 games. They've been outshot 12 times. So their goalie, Igor, has faced more shots on goal than the other goaltenders in 75% of their matches, 80% of their matches. And yet they are still in the hunt for getting to the Stanley Cup finals. And it's just incredible. Without him, I don't think they would be where they are. And so my shout out is to Igor to keep busting your butt, take him to the promised land, and bring home a trophy for the first time in 30 years. So let's go Rangers.
All right.
But
All right.
my
Yeah.
team, my number one team is actually the Phoenix Coyotes, and they're leaving Arizona. So go figure.
Is it too expensive to keep the rink iced?
I think it's part of it. I think like nobody goes to the games anymore because they haven't really been relevant in quite some time, and they're not even Phoenix Coyotes. I think they're Arizona Coyotes. They're moving to Utah.
The team's terrible.
And yeah, I just it's okay, but yeah, that's my number one. But let's go Rangers.
All right. Yeah, it's fun.
Listen, awesome show today, and again, kudos to you, Kyle. You are our first guest, and you crushed it.
Thanks for having me.
You set the bar way up high. The bar is not even on the screen. That's how high it is. So people got to go figure out where that is. Yeah, but thank you so much. And
if the views and ratings go through the roof, then you'll be back next week and a week after. We'll see.
Absolutely.
I'm around.
So we definitely.
This is
it's
easy.
been great, and I know. There you go.
I mean,
it's we wanted to have a guest come on the show and happy to have you as our first guest. And for those of you who've tuned in, maybe this is the first time you're tuning in. You know, whether it's YouTube, we're on the Apple Podcast, we're on Spotify. That's where you'll find us. And go find us on Instagram, High Five Guys. We do have a Facebook page. Haven't put much on there, so just go find us on Instagram and follow our stories and whatnot for now. But it's been awesome. So thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening to us. Leave some comments, like, subscribe, share with your friends, your family, and get the word out there. We're here to spread those positive vibes, like Kyle said, and we want more of you to listen and leave us some comments. Maybe there's some topics you want to hear that we can share and spread some wealth and drop some knowledge bombs. So with that being said, it's been fun. It's been great. Have a great rest of your week. Good day. High five, guys. We out tonight, and we'll catch you on the next one.
All right. All right.
Adios.
Cheers. Thanks.